The diplomatic chamber aboard the Zephyrian vessel Harmonious Dawn hummed with the gentle vibrations of peace protocols. Ambassador Seelan adjusted her ceremonial robes, the fabric shimmering with embedded translation matrices that would ensure perfect communication with their new alien contacts. Beside her, Captain Kareem stood at attention, his dress uniform pristine despite the long journey from Earth. "Remember," Seelan whispered, her voice barely audible above the ambient sounds, "we represent all of humanity today. The Galactic Council has been watching this moment for decades." Kareem nodded, his dark eyes reflecting the soft blue lighting of the chamber. "Peaceful contact, Ambassador, just as we've rehearsed 1,000 times." The massive view screen flickered to life, revealing the assembled representatives of the Galactic Council. 12 species, each more exotic than the last, gazed upon the two humans with what could only be described as benevolent curiosity. The Zephyrians, tall and ethereal with their translucent skin, served as mediators. The crystalline Vorthak hummed in harmonious tones, while the aquatic Delphines floated in their atmospheric suits. "Greetings, children of Terra," spoke High Counselor Zentareth, a Zephyrian whose voice carried the weight of millennia. "We welcome you to the galactic community with open hearts and peaceful intentions." Seelan stepped forward, activating her translation matrix. "We are honored by your welcome, High Counselor. Humanity comes before you in the spirit of cooperation and mutual understanding." For 3 hours, the dialogue progressed beautifully. Trade agreements were discussed, cultural exchanges planned, and scientific collaborations outlined. The humans shared their art, their music, their literature. The alien species reciprocated with wonders beyond imagination, technologies that could heal entire worlds, philosophies that had maintained peace across star systems for eons. Kareem found himself genuinely moved by the proceedings. Here, finally, was proof that the universe was vast enough for all consciousness to coexist. He exchanged meaningful glances with Seelan, both of them recognizing the historic nature of their mission. "Your species shows remarkable promise," observed Counselor Thilmaven of the insectoid Chitauri. "We look forward to guiding your development within our peaceful coalition." "Guiding?" Seelan asked, her diplomatic smile never wavering despite the slight edge that entered her voice. "Of course," Zentareth replied smoothly. "All new species require guidance. Your weapons will be surrendered, your military dissolved. War is an outdated concept here. The Council maintains order through wisdom and advanced pacification technologies." The temperature in the room seemed to drop several degrees. Kareem's hand instinctively moved toward his sidearm before he caught himself. "I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding," Seelan said carefully. "Humanity appreciates the offer of partnership, but we maintain our sovereignty. Our military serves a defensive purpose." Several alien representatives exchanged what could only be described as amused glances. A ripple of something resembling laughter passed through the assembly. "Dear child," Zentareth's tone carried the patronizing quality of an adult addressing a stubborn toddler. "You misunderstand your position. This is not a negotiation. This is an integration process. Your compliance is not optional." "Perhaps," interjected Counselor Veltharan of the cybernetic Nexari, "a demonstration of our pacification technology would help them understand." The chamber's walls began to emit a low, pulsing frequency. Seelan felt her muscles begin to relax involuntarily, her mind growing fuzzy. Beside her, Kareem swayed on his feet, his expression becoming vacant. "There," Zentareth said with satisfaction. "You see? Resistance is futile and unnecessary. You will be much happier as our peaceful wards." But something was wrong. The pacification field, which should have reduced both humans to compliant docility, was having an unexpected effect on Kareem. Instead of compliance, his eyes were growing harder, more focused. His military training, honed through years of conflict on Earth, was fighting back against the alien influence. "Seelan," he whispered through gritted teeth, his hand moving to a concealed emergency beacon. "Emergency Protocol 7. With tremendous effort, Seelan managed to activate her own beacon before the pacification field could fully take hold. The response was immediate and terrifying. Space itself seemed to tear open as a massive Terran dreadnought materialized from stealth, its hull bristling with weapons that made the peaceful council ships look like toys. The TCSV Retribution had been watching, waiting, hidden by technology the aliens hadn't even suspected existed. "This is Admiral Chen of the Terran Colonial Space Force," a voice boomed through the chamber's communication system. "You have 30 seconds to release our diplomats before we demonstrate why humanity has never accepted subjugation." The alien faces that had moments before worn expressions of benevolent superiority now showed shock, fear, and something approaching. Panic. The Zephyrian vessel's sensors, finally detecting the human warship, displayed readings that defied their understanding of physics. "Impossible," Veltherin whispered, cybernetic implants flickering with alarm. "Our sensors detected nothing. How long have you been watching?" Kareem, now fully recovered from the pacification attempt, smiled grimly. "Long enough to record every word of this integration process, long enough to map your fleet positions, long enough to understand that your peaceful coalition is built on forced compliance." The Retribution's weapon systems came online, their targeting arrays painting every council ship with lethal precision. The display of firepower was surgical, controlled, but absolutely unmistakable in its implications. "You see," Seelan said, her diplomatic composure returning as the alien technology's effects faded. "Humanity learned something during our long climb from the caves to the stars. Peace is only meaningful when it's chosen freely. What you offer isn't peace. It's slavery with better marketing." High Counselor Zentareth's translucent form seemed to dim with what might have been genuine confusion. "But conflict breeds suffering. War brings only destruction." "Sometimes," Kareem replied, his voice carrying the weight of human history, "a little suffering is the price of freedom. And sometimes the threat of war is what keeps the peace." The standoff continued for several tense moments before Admiral Chen's voice crackled through the chamber again. "The offer stands, counselors. Peaceful coexistence between equals, or we return to our space and you never see us again. But understand this, humanity doesn't kneel." In the end, it was the crystalline Forthak who spoke first, their harmonic tones somehow conveying respect. Perhaps we have much to learn from each other after all." As the Retribution powered down its weapons and formal negotiations resumed, Seelan and Kareem exchanged a look of quiet satisfaction. First contact had indeed been peaceful. Once, the aliens learned what peace actually meant to humanity. The universe, it seemed, had just gotten a little more complicated, and a little more free.